Good afternoon, Mike. Good afternoon, Kurt.
Hey, Ben. Did you get a chance to see the last orchestra concert, or were you like in full wedding prep mode?
The opera fit between the wedding. I did not go to the orchestra concert the previous week, and neither did my son, for which he had to beg forgiveness. So,
Yeah, I thought I did. Did you see the program for it though?
no.
They did um the Lincoln, the Lincoln dialogues, and
Oh,
then there's a corresponding Jefferson Adams or Jefferson dialogues in multiple movements
wow.
that they did as well, and that one was super cool.
Okay.
It was I'd never heard that one before.
I'll have to, is it still up on the website? I think it
I don't
usually
know how long
lasts a
they keep
month, right?
those.
I
Yeah.
think 30 days. Okay. I'll have to check it out.
But I mean, Copeland is always Copeland, but Copeland with Lincoln dialogue was like it was awesome.
Wow. Wow. Okay. We're expecting a couple more people here. I know Shane is coming and Tyler said he planned to be here, so we'll give him a couple more minutes. Okay, I think we will begin. So I'm remote today, so I think it'll work just fine though, because many of you are as well. We will call the meeting to order and begin with a roll call.
Peggy Besh,
Present.
Julie Brew, Caleb Fink, Algan Young, Catherine Forsch,
Present.
David Grabitsky, Kurt Hackmer,
Here.
James Hagan, Mike Derby,
Here.
Benjamin Jones,
Here,
Marshall Michaels,
Here.
Shane Penfield,
Here.
Tim Reed, Nick Harrington for Kevin Roebling,
Here.
George Seaman,
Here.
Tyler Tordson,
Here.
Jeremiah Schneider. All right, should have quorum.
I see Caleb has signed on.
Yep, just got out of my other meeting. Sorry about the
Great.
tardiness.
Thank you. Okay, we'll proceed with the Pledge of Allegiance. David, why don't you start with that?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I would entertain a motion to adopt the agenda, or if there's any late additions or adds to the agenda.
So moved.
Hackemer has moved. Is there a second?
Porsche, second.
Or second, thank you. All those in favor? Well, is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor indicate aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Okay, the agenda is adopted. Item 3, the approval of the minutes of the meeting of April 1st. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved. Porsche.
Warsh with Peggy Besh as a second. I'll take that way. Any discussion? Hearing none, go ahead and voice vote on the adoption of the minutes. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Okay, thank you. Minutes are approved. Now's the time for public comment. Is there anybody on the SDPB line or in the room that would like to make public comment? Anybody in the room?
Nobody in the room.
Nobody in the room. Anybody online? Okay, hearing none, we will proceed up to the item 5. We have a series of updates today. As you know, we made This Far Country. This poem was published by the press specifically for America 250 South Dakota in March, and we had a specific version of this that would fit inside the time capsule created by the book's designer, Angela Geyer. She did an excellent job, and it was really great. This whole process has been done by South Dakotans all the way along the line. From Angela Geyer's a resident of Sioux Falls. She had some help from an art professor at Dakota State. Of course, Joseph Bottom grew up in South Dakota and still owns a home here. And then the press, of course, leading the way on this. So it's a great poem, and the edition will then fit in the 2 by 5 by 6 box, 2 inches by 5 inches by 6 inches box that we're allowed as a state. And that is there. They've indicated that they've received the item. They also got a letter from the governor. So that was included in the time capsule. The time capsule will be on July 4th. It's my understanding it will be buried in Philadelphia in Independence Square, just across from Independence Hall and adjacent to the Liberty Bell. So it's a prime spot for this kind of thing. America's Field Trip, they're running the 3rd round for this. They had, I think over, might be incorrect, but I believe they had over 25,000 applications across the nation for this. The judging is occurring now, and they plan on announcing the winners of this round on June 2nd. And if there's a South Dakotan in the mix, they will give us a heads up about that so we can help congratulate that winner. So just to refresh your memory, this is a K3 through 12 contest, national contest. So more to follow in early June about that. David, do you have any further announcements or definition about the Liberty Tree planting on May 22nd?
The Liberty Tree will be planted on May 22nd at 10 o'clock in the morning. Been working with the South Dakota Nursery and Landscape Association, who has donated the tree. And it will be planted next to the Cultural Heritage Center here in Pierre, up on top of the hill overlooking the 2 parking lots. If you're familiar with the site, the 2 parking lots kind of come together on the northwest corner of the lot, and that's about where the tree will be planted. Will be up on top of that hill.
It also has a great view of the gulch below it across the Governor's Drive, and it's a good spot for that to connect the one side of Governor's Drive and the view over to the gulch below.
Yep. And then the plaque for it is being made by the Buildings and Grounds unit here in the state.
So you're all invited to that, 10 a.m. on May 22nd. That's a Friday, if I believe. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Yeah. Okay. Next update is about the conference on June 1st. And I haven't checked, but I think how many people registered for the conference now? I think we're in the 60s. Or is it higher than that? Higher. Your mute is on, Catherine. If you know the number, go ahead and say. We also were able to create a day specifically for K-12 teachers. So June 1st is dedicated to K-12 educators. And in addition, this year on June 3rd for the awards conference, we have a cash award this year for the History Teacher of the Year. And the recipient of that award is Ryan Decker from T High School. He's an excellent history teacher, psych teacher, AP history, does a number of classes. And this year he began a South Dakota history course. So we're happy to award that to him among the other award recipients at the conference. Any questions about the conference? We all hope if you're able to come, we would love to have you participate in that on June 2nd and 3rd. And the teachers are welcome the entire time, 1st through the 3rd. Update on and a vote, I think, on the Great American State Fair. We've been working on a number of fronts on this in order to make South Dakota's presence on the National Mall happen. We've got a a series of designs in the works to share about South Dakota's history and culture and moving into the future. And we're working on some interactive displays as well to feature Mount Rushmore, to feature pheasant hunting, and to feature a number of things. And depending on sponsorships and funding, we may have additional people participate in that. A lot of the staffing, it's a substantial duration from June 23rd to July 10th. We need to get in there, set up, and then staff it several hours a day from that for those that 20-day period. We've got at least 2 folks every hour that were needed to be open from state government, across DOE, across Historical Society. Game Fish and Parks is supporting it, and I'm sorry, not Game Fish and Parks, but Danner Ag and Natural Resources is supporting it, and also Labor is sending some people. And we also have some volunteers from the state delegation of the Daughters of the American Revolution and the South Dakota State Society, which is located in Washington, D.C. And we're working out hours of staffing with them for volunteers with that. So we looking like now, after a lot of hard work and support from the governor's office, we are putting together the staff to need to cover that timeline. If you're available as a commissioner to be out there from any of that time, we'd welcome helping that arrangement to come together and the travel for that to come together as well for you to go out there. And just contact Braden and I about how that might work.
Dr. Jones.
Sponsorships. Yes, go ahead.
Oh, Dr. Jones, hi, Mike Derby.
Yes, sir.
Regarding the governor's office, did Mackenzie Decker, did any word get back to you about the possibility of using the Mount Rushmore presidents costumes that the Visit Rapid City would be willing to ship out there?
Yes.
If you haven't seen them, they're a big hit. Everyone loves them. They're life size and they're the big heads of Mount Rushmore.
Right. That she did mention that to me, and we've contacted Visit Rapid City about how to arrange for that. So yeah, I should have led with that. Yeah, we look forward to being out on the mall with those costumes and having an impact with that.
Those will be a huge hit. The standing room, or you'll have a line of people to get pictures with them, guaranteed.
Great. Tried and true, I'm sure. So that's a lot of it's a big help. Thanks for that. We will have some expenses though with this. The expenses are undetermined yet. We need to buy some equipment and pull together the printing costs and the design costs for the walls that we're designing that tell the story that we want to tell, and some of that. So we have a donation from the 100th Legislative Session Committee has made available their intent to provide $24,000. We also have some other options for us to do that. So what I'd like to do now is consider that for the use of that 24,000 and to take on some of the other things that the flag raising or the flag vendor contributions to us, our take on the flag sales, an agreement with them as a sponsor with Maximum Promotions. We've begun to see some of the revenue on that begin to come in. So I'd entertain a motion. I think David might have the language to spend up to $25,000 on the expenses to support the Great American State Fair.
Mr. Chair, I would move to authorize the spending of $25,000 for design and production costs for America's 250th Commission Pavilion.
Thank you.
Second from Fink.
Okay, great. Thank you, Caleb. Is there any discussion? Okay. Hearing none, Braden, will you call a roll call vote on this?
Peggy Besh,
Yes.
Mike Derby,
Aye.
Caleb Fink,
Aye.
Catherine Forsch,
Yes.
David Grabitsky,
Yes.
Kurt Hackmer,
Yes.
Benjamin Jones,
Yes.
Marshall Michaels,
Yes.
Shane Penfield,
Yes.
Nick Harrington,
Yes.
George Seaman,
Yes.
Tyler Tordson,
Yes.
Algan Young.
Yes.
All right.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you all for that. If I continue to talk to a couple of folks about sponsoring this, and if we are able to raise some more funds, I could think we could bring in some artists and some American Indian, add some American Indian culture to this. That'll have some expenses. We talked about different people and different names have come up kind of between Algin and I and some other folks I've had some conversations with at the Arts Council. And so, but we may, depending on how the equipment costs go, we may need some travel money for them to participate in that. So if you know of others who might want to sponsor that kind of aspect of this, please reach out to them or check in with me and we'll see how we can approach that potential sponsor. I'd really love to have some of that, not necessarily 100% of the time. That would be a lot to ask, but maybe intermittently throughout the 20-day fair, we offer our visitors a chance to experience that aspect of South Dakota's culture as well. Okay. The big
Dr.
thing that,
Jones?
yes,
Um,
Peggy.
Yes. Do you have any idea when you'll kind of nail down that schedule of folks going?
Right.
Because I have some members of my team that need to kind of firm some things up.
Right. The team schedule is created. It's online, and I think we've organized it so it might be a little bit hard to find, but we can get you the link directly of the work schedule as it is now, or the live schedule. And the names that you forwarded us, I think, are on there.
Okay, perfect. So are we
yeah.
safe then to go ahead and book flights and all that good stuff?
I believe so. You might want to take a look at that. Braden and I'll send you that link right after the meeting, and you can
That would be great.
Get
Thank you.
get some confidence over where you've got them. Any other questions about the American State Fair? Okay. The museum will be partially opening, kind of a reveal of the first two permanent exhibits, and then the temporary exhibit hall will be opening on July 1st. We're planning a ribbon cutting there. The governor is attending or is slated to attend, and we're working on others, but I wanted to make sure the invitation is made known to all of you and to have you there. It's going to be a great day. The Spotted Tails are coming. Their recent donation, well, maybe not so recent, it was about 2 years ago now, but of the Spotted Tail headdress, and that'll be in one of the exhibits, and they're going to be there. So we're really looking forward to putting that on display along with the Verandre plate and a lot of the effigy, a lot of the other key kind of what we call the hero artifacts of the museum, and in addition to the Grit and Glory display that will be in the temporary gallery. And we'll be sending out invite to all the members, and it's open to the public as well. Utah, we've talked about America's Potluck before. Utah has now got their website up along with the map that will kind of pinpoint all the people who are participating in America's Potluck and hosting a potluck. The map is live. I've worked with South Dakota Retailers Association. They are spreading the word to the grocery stores around South Dakota to clue them in on what's going on. There's a social media kit. There's a lot of kind of pre-made branding and advertising that Utah has put together for this, and help spread the word about this. But that map, I think, will be cool. So we'll be rolling out some social media about that as well. Utah was able to find a national supporter in this, America's Test Kitchen. They've come up with recipes for every state. And the recipe for South Dakota that they've come up with is corn cob smoked ribs. I've never had corn cob smoked ribs, but it looks amazing. So anyway, people can go online and check out that particular recipe, but of course there's no one way to potluck. And so Utah is encouraging people to do that, and we'll be sharing more about that as we get closer to the date. But I think last time I looked on the map, there were 2 locations that had already announced a potluck.
And not to grab too much glory, but those ribs are a Vermilion thing created by the Mart family years ago.
Ah, well,
They were featured on an episode of America's Test Kitchen, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago.
Wonderful. Well, we should get in touch with them. Can you introduce us to the Marxes somehow? And we
To the Marts? Yeah, I can
Yeah.
I can figure out who to contact.
Great. Wonderful.
And
Well, it's nice
if
to know that that was a South Dakota recipe, that it wasn't just,
Right,
made
they
up
just
by
make it
up.
Oh.
Great.
If I can add one more
Sure.
thing too. Sorry, Nick Harrington, Game Fish and Parks. I'm here in Custer for a commission meeting, so apologies for any background noise. But I also shared that with our park staff and asked if that was something that they would be interested in doing as an event across the state as well. So hopefully you see some state parks participate, and I am not lost with barbecue and ribs. So that's very good news for me.
Great. Thanks, Nick. Then the last update I have is Sharing the Spirit of America. This is the common reading of the Declaration of Independence that'll be taking place. I used to say from coast to coast, but there's expats in France that have signed up. And so we'll be doing it from Paris to Guam, I think is now the geographic spread of that. So it's quite a spread. It will occur at 5 p.m. Central Time. The event that we're organizing at the state level includes well, everybody now, I've got a reader for every part of the line, and we'll have the governor. The history teacher of the year is Ryan Decker is leading off, then the governor, lieutenant governor, the chief justice of the Supreme Court, and President Gestring from USD has agreed to do this, and SDSU, DSU presidents, and the American Legion commander, the DAR state regent, just a good group, Boy State governor, Girl State governor, and the winner of the yet to be named Civics B, who's a middle schooler. That tournament is in June and sponsored by the state chamber. So that'll be a great event. We are working with STPB to broadcast that live. It was going to be in the rotunda in the Capitol, but that's filled with scaffolding. So we are considering moving that to the Senate chamber, and they're doing a walk around, I think, on Monday to kind of do a tech site survey of the Senate chamber to make sure that that'll work. So we've been working with LRC folks to get that put together. But I think that'll be a great event, and STPB plans on taking snippets of the different lines that it's read and putting that out on social media afterwards, so it'll have a life afterward as well. I know that, and I think I've said this before, the Battleship South Dakota is planning a reading. Rapid City, I believe, is planning a reading, and there might be other communities around the state that are also doing a reading. So It's good to see that happening. Okay. I think I've run through my announcements and other news items. Are there any points of discussion?
Dr. Jones? Yes,
Yes, sir.
Not necessarily any point of discussion. I just wanted to let the group know that since our last meeting, I did send out an open-ended invitation to the 9 tribal presidents and offered, our partnership, and whether it be their powwow or any education they may seek from us as a commission. But official correspondence has been sent out for that since our last meeting.
Great. Thanks, Elgin. I know it's that's an important aspect of things, and we want to make sure we've invited them to participate in any way, shape, or form that they choose to do so. We did have at our partnership meeting yesterday, which has grown, by the way. I should have said, I think we're up to over 130 partners now around the state. And yesterday, the South Dakota Native Tourism Alliance also came to the meeting and had some good constructive things to say. So that was good. Anyone else?
Added the
Dr.
links
Jones?
in for Utah and
Oh, yes.
America Test Kitchen, so
Okay.
you can
Thank
get
you,
the
Kathy.
recipe on the Utah site.
Yes. Representative Derby, you wanted to.
Thank you. Follow up on the Visit Rapid City mascots. I don't know if, for those of you that haven't seen them, this is what they look like, and why they'll be such a big hit.
Great. Yes, that's helpful. Thank you. We need to arrange how they're going to get to DC, and I think we're looking for I think one of our congressional delegations offices might be the postal destination for those, but we got to sort out how we're going to get them there. But that'll be great. I appreciate that.
Dr. Jones, this is Catherine. Question on the cost to add the American Indian culture individuals that'll be able to attend. Do you have a dollar amount for that?
No, I wanted to see if anyone was interested first before we started buying plane tickets and things like that. But I imagine it would be, we'd be looking at $5,000 for one person to go and participate, pay them for their time and handle their travel expenses, things like that, something like that.
Thank you.
But that's just a guesstimate. We'll see what happens.
Dr. Jones, if I can really
sure.
quick too, just
Sure.
on some of the flag stuff, it's just been good with, you talked about our partnership list growing. I know, at least in my day job world and in my corner of the state, we've had quite a few municipalities too that have recently passed resolutions that have formed local planning committees and task force to find new things and new ways, and have even allocated budgets and are placing orders for flags and stuff too. So it's just been fun to see that continue to grow. Firework displays and potluck stuff, and tied to community events, and then even after the 4th of July too, as we're encouraging people to know that it's kind of a whole year celebration or even multi-year celebration, not just around one weekend. And it's been nice to see. So I just wanted to put that out there for the group.
Yes, thank you, Tyler. Speaking of the flag celebrations, we've got a couple this week, and Chamberlain is leaning into next week, I believe, and they continue into June. So that continues. The flag sales has been good. The America 250 beer sales has been good. The Keller ran a story about that, so that helped out a lot. And Doug was on the call with the partners yesterday, explaining the opportunities there for them for the commemorative beer as well. So, the locality, we all knew that when we began this, that it would all come down to what cities and towns wanted to do. And that's why getting the economic development folks involved, as Mike pushed in our first conversation, has been key to all this. And the tourism folks have been big in reaching that audience as well. And they've probably been the most energetic in all of this, I think, has been the economic development and the tourism bureaus in the different communities around the state. So it's been great.
And we've had a good partner with the Municipalities League. They have promoted the communities each month in their
Yeah.
publication.
Yeah. Catherine's articles are getting a good audience there too, so. Any other comments or things people like to highlight? Okay, well, hearing none, our next meeting is June 9th, 4 p.m. Central Time. And if we do find the wherewithal to send more folks to the Great American State Fair, we may have a call a flash meeting to take a vote on if we need to appropriate or spend any more money. So if it goes beyond the 25,000, but we'll try and keep things in the budget there. But so with that, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
So, second, Fink.
Okay, moved by Besh, seconded by Fink. All those in favor, please indicate aye.
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 Pose same sign. All right, thank you all.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.